Hi, everyone. We're here today at Chisholm, and Kilpatrick. A question that we often see and one that we want to discuss today is, am I eligible for 100% disability or for 100% disability payments from the VA? And what can make this topic confusing, which is why we're talking about it, is that VA has a few different definitions for what it means to be 100% disabled. So today we're going to break down those differences, and we'll just say at the outset, if you find this video helpful, please feel free to like it. And I want to start first with Claire. The first thing that we can talk about is probably conceptually the easiest one, I would say, which is what's a schedular 100% VA disability rating?
Sure. So VA rates disabilities either alone or in combination on a scale of 0 to 100. And when a veteran has multiple service connected disabilities, VA will combine them using a combined rating table. So it's not straightforward math, it's a little bit different. And the important thing to know is that 100% is the highest possible scheduler rating available for one disability or a combination of multiple service connected disabilities. So some folks might add up their individual percentages and get to a number higher than 100. It's important to know that that's by design. VA will cap at 100%. Although there may be additional monthly compensation available through special monthly compensation or SMC. And compensation rates also will vary based on your dependents.
So, a schedular 100% rating, like Claire said, is when your individual disabilities or the combination of your conditions adds up under VA's math to a 100% total rating. And talk to us, Claire, about what can be unique about cancers. Um, we see veterans with cancers that have different ratings often over time. Tell us about how that can impact the schedular 100% disability picture.
Right. So, any active malignant cancer, as opposed to cancer that is in remission or inactive, should be assigned a 100% rating as a matter of law. Certain cancers are 100% until after a certain period of cessation of treatment, such as chemotherapy. And another thing to note is, according to VA's adjudication manual, if a cancer is classified as being under watchful waiting, this can still constitute an active cancer. So generally, VA will grant a 100% rating and then schedule a routine re-examination to determine whether or not a cancer is still active. Once a cancer goes into remission, a veteran should then be rated based on residuals of that cancer, if any. So these can be residuals of the condition itself. So, for someone who maybe suffered from prostate cancer, they may have resultant voiding dysfunction, kidney dysfunction, erectile dysfunction, and others. And veterans can also qualify for compensation for disabilities that they incur while they're undergoing treatment for their cancer. So think surgical scars, residuals from surgery, medical complications from chemotherapy, or even psychiatric conditions or symptoms that stem from the diagnosis and treatment of cancer. Those can all sort of be under the umbrella of the cancer rating. So if you successfully complete treatment for cancer, it goes into remission, it's important to make sure that you're being adequately paid for all of the residuals of that cancer and that you're not just back down to 0%.
Exactly. And now pivoting to something that's a little bit different, but still a 100% rating. Talk to us about what a total disability rating is based on individual unemployability.
Yes. So a TDIU rating is paid at the equivalent of a 100% scheduler rate. So a veteran would get the same monthly compensation that they would if their disabilities combined to 100. But their disabilities don't actually have to combine to 100. It's actually based on a factual finding that a veteran cannot secure and follow substantially gainful employment because of their service-connected disabilities. So to break down what substantially gainful employment is, that's not really defined in VA's regulation. There's generally two components that we look at in our cases, and that's the economic component and the non-economic component. So as far as the economic component, that really relates to a veteran's earned income. So In some cases, veterans who are working may still be eligible for TDIU if they're earning income that's below the federal poverty threshold. VA will classify this as marginal employment and does not consider it substantially gainful by law. Of course, what we see most commonly is if a veteran is completely unemployed, who is not working in any capacity, they meet that economic criterion. And the other is the non-economic one. So that speaks to the veteran's ability to perform the physical and mental acts that are required in any job. So things like sitting, walking, standing, and non-exertional things like focus, concentration, interacting with others, dealing with stress and change. Those all factor into a veteran's ability to secure and follow substantially gainful employment. So if a veteran is not working or is not working gainfully, and they can show that their service-connected disabilities are the reason for their unemployability, they're eligible to be paid at the 100% rate via a TDIU rating.
That's a really important distinction that either pathway, a schedular 100% rating or a TDIU rating, will pay at the same roughly the same rate, at 100%, and I say roughly just because there could be dependents involved, and that will change what a specific monthly payment would be for a veteran based on number of dependents, but, Claire's right that do not have to have, combined total disability ratings that get you to that 100% on VA's math for TDIU purposes and still get paid at the 100% rate regardless, because a veteran in those circumstances has to be able to make the showing that Claire described about the economic and non-economic components of TDIU. Claire, you talked about this a little bit when you talked about cancer ratings, but a little more generally, because it can apply to things other than cancer. What's a temporary 100% VA rating?
Right. So one thing that I'll just backtrack to TDIU for a moment and say that TDIU is generally indefinite. It can only really be discontinued if a veteran returns to work in a substantially gainful capacity. So TDIU is generally not considered a temporary benefit. The only way that it would be discontinued would be if a person were to return to work in a gainful capacity. But there are other situations where VA may assign a 100% rating on a non-permanent basis. And that has to do with circumstances such as a surgery. So if a veteran undergoes a surgery and then has a recovery or convalescent period, they can be assigned a 100% rating for some or all of that period. Relatedly, if a veteran is hospitalized for a service-connected disability, they can be entitled to a temporary total rating for that period of hospitalization. And then you may also receive a 100% rating on a temporary basis if a disability is shown to improve in a sustained way. So we have a lot of resources available regarding rating reductions. Definitely recommend taking a look at those. But that's another circumstance where a veteran may have a 100% rating, and then they may later see their rating decrease if their condition undergoes sustained improvement.
And the final question for today, what is a permanent and total VA rating?
So, a permanent and total rating, as the name suggests, is awarded where VA finds that a veteran is disabled in a way that is not anticipated to improve. So, typically, the way that we see VA designate this is they will award an additional benefit that is associated with the 100% rating, and that's basic eligibility to Dependents Educational Assistance, or DEA. And that's a benefit that veterans and their dependents can utilize for educational benefits. There's a lot of different benefits there, and I believe we have other resources on DEA as well.
Definitely. Thank you, Claire, and thank you all for tuning in. Be sure to like this video if you found it helpful, and follow and subscribe to our channel for videos like this in the future, and take care.